In 26, it's probably something that's not new, but I'd say it's becoming more and more important. And that's how do we really leverage the data available to us about our customers to greatly enhance our member experience. Loyalty and co-brand members just are truly expecting that programs now know them and offer value to them that's relevant to them, timely to them, and through the right channel. And so having a loyalty program in of itself gives you access to such amazing data about your customers. And if you have a co-brand, like the fuel on the fire for any loyalty program, you not only get access to the data about your individual member as they're operating in your brand, but also what that customer is doing across the entire life cycle of their spending history. And not only can you use your loyalty program data, your co-brand data, but we're seeing ways now of bringing in multiple third-party data sources to create this truly holistic view of our customers. But then in 26, it's not just about how do we build the right infrastructure to get the data about our customers. It's about how do we meaningfully unlock those insights that we see coming out of the data. And while this isn't a revolutionary idea, it's something we've been wrestling with as an industry for a number of years. The thing that's really going to accelerate this is the adoption of AI. And as AI continues to get more sophisticated and we leverage that technology on top of the data we own about our customers, truly leading loyalty strategies and programs will use those real-time insights to deliver value better than we've ever seen before to our customers and reap the rewards of the program growth off the back of that.
I think there's a lot of opportunities, and I think where we've come in at it's looking at this. We talk about this, what the problem for loyalty, and I wouldn't even say it's a problem. It's about an evolution, right? It's about how we start to take loyalty as we know it right now, and how do we get it into a more user-friendly state for the consumer. But it's also about the loyalty program, how they can start to take more data insights and become more personalized. And you'll start hear me talk very passionately around data, and I've been in financial services for over 20 years. I've built, fintech software over the last 20 years, and for me, it's always been about, how data is being collected and then used. And I think one of the problems that we've encountered recently is that if data is being collected, it's not collected in a way that they can use it for anything. So it's about pooling data, but having the mechanisms to create this data into a personalization environment. And if you look at all of the existing, programs and their software infrastructure, it's done really well to get to where it has in terms of its longevity. But when we're talking about the future of loyalty, about what's ahead of us for the next 10 years, it's about data sovereignty, permission data, being able to create a walled garden of opportunity. And for a loyalty program, a super app is the ultimate data collection hub. So when you start to pull that, you start to create digital identities for every one of your members on your program. You can start to collect more data. And then it's not even about AI anymore. It's about a level above. So when we talk about MCP, and I'm sure a lot of people now will be rushing off to Google that, but MCP became a thing in about May of this year. So it's about machine protocols now driving personalization, but it needs to connect to something. And so the problem holistically that I see for all loyalty programs right now is they've got these old legacy platforms, which again, respectfully have done really well to get to where they have, but to go to the next level, it's about how do you bridge the old to the new and then plan to take out the old to replace for the new. So there's change management, business case, and that's the part that we're stepping in, trying to step people up and out, essentially.
So I think there's two huge and very complementary opportunities that are going to emerge for loyalty programs in 2026. First is around AI. We've all been talking about AI since late 2024. In 2025, we've started to see it emerge quite something almost getting industrialized. And in 2026, we'll see this further and further develop. And the second is around the retailing transformation that airlines have embarked on. And if I can just dive into the two of them. On the AI side, we see probably three main pillars in which this is going to evolve, right? First is around the emergence of chatbots and how they become an additional or a new interface that customers are going to interact with the programs with or with their brands with. And the big question that we're looking at here is how does a loyalty program integrate into these chatbots and interact with their customers through these chatbots? And so we're having a lot of discussions at the moment with the providers of these solutions to say, how can we work together to facilitate that and to facilitate the customer experience when they're interacting with the chatbot? The second is around leveraging AI tech by the loyalty program to improve the customer experience and improve personalization. We see a huge benefit of AI driving personalization and moving it from very rule-based personalization to now having it super personalized or hyper personalized because of AI deciding what's the next best thing for the customer to do, what's the next best offer to propose to them, or what's the next best thing not to do because it might just not be the right time to interact with that customer. And the third piece is around leveraging AI tech to manage the program itself, using AI technology for either agentic AI to improve program management and improve communication with the program, but also to solve customer issues, to surface issues customer facing, to test your program design. So now you don't have to test with a control group. You can use AI to test your program design. You can use it to design your new program and help it understand what's the best way to go. And so there's a lot that can be done with AI, and we think these three aspects of it will be the key ones driving forward. The second is around the retailing transformation, and it's quite complementary with the growth of AI, with airlines embarking on the retailing transformation and Amadeus leading this with Nevio. We're starting to build a very traveler-centric system, which helps us answer some of the challenges that airlines had with PNR-based systems. And it's really around putting everything on the basis of the customer and the basis of the traveler. And leveraging the flexibility that this retailing transformation provides to airlines now, they can use it to make their programs a lot more flexible, and they can use it to make the benefits that they're issuing to customers a lot more flexible. And so we're really moving into a world where you now have the technological ability to do a lot more for your customers with the retailing transformation and with AI, and taking that into the future to help answer your customers' needs of being member first and being member driven.
Looking at the opportunities in 2026, and again, pushing back to what I've said earlier, the AI will be a driving factor, right? But focusing on travel and what that is our core of our industry, right? I think loyalty programs as such will remain a cornerstone for many of the travel companies, airlines in particular. You see some recent developments in the US where basic fares are excluded from points accrual. I think those are interesting developments, but I doubt that the value of information and the associated financial opportunities that loyalty programs have will really question what these programs can deliver and provide to their operators. AI will be a factor in that. But again, AI can only succeed if you have data, if you have data that you can use, and particularly in the field of loyalty where precision is important, right? You want to know how many points you get and you want to see them in your account. And equally, you want to see how much money that means for a loyalty operator, right? Especially in that context, I believe that the fundamentals that loyalty programs provide, the data, the structured data, will be key to the success using AI in a meaningful fashion. And then if you take it to the next steps, again, focusing particularly on aviation, the transformation of airline retailing has now taken full speed. And in our belief, a transformation to modern airline retailing can only work with a tight integration with loyalty, right? So the added value that loyalty programs will bring to the retail transformation, particularly in the aviation space, will take a big chunk of 2026 and the work that many airlines and us as system providers will do.
think that growth is the strongest in underserved industries, mostly with high frequency, but with low loyalty penetration. Mostly we think that it's airlines or hospitality, but right now it's really focused on healthcare, automotive, education, B2B, and SMEs industries, and which is something that years before it has happened, but it has not been really the trend. And right now we see that loyalty will be adopted as a strategic retention tool, not just like a marketing target. Also, I think it's very important that the multi-partner ecosystems will expand because the integration of the suppliers, the merchants and services, it's unlocking new revenue streams and reducing the acquisition cost, depending on the type of the client. And also that the digital reward marketing continues to accelerate. For example, the premium digital content, the gift cards, the gamification, subscription, travels showed mostly about 25 to 30% uplift in engagement. And it's mostly more than single brand rewards. And I think that one tool that it's insanely well worldwide new, it's the AI will enhance data intelligence. This will help with the predictive modeling, the churn prevention, and also automated communication. And overall, I think that the value is shifting from price to experience. This gives more convenience and trust.
So that follows on very neatly from the huge amount of currency that's coming out into the marketplace. I've seen, during 2025, things like in the US, American Airlines and Citi making their points interchangeable. And that is a huge, big trend that's happening, and I think will really start to take off in 2026. The whole bit of what AI does, and no interview in talking about next year is going to be complete without talking about AI. All of those points going out into the marketplace are going to become part of digital wallets. There's going to be a whole load of interchangeability between these programs, and I think we will start to see a rise of kind of like super currencies. So IAG Loyalty is one example. It's now the currency for Loganair here in Scotland, Qatar Airways, Finnair, as well as all of the IAG brands. And I think we might start to see kind of like the rise of, for want of a better phrase, reserve currencies. So it will be interesting. It might not come in 26. But as all of these digital wallets, and you can start to see the pressure's being driven because the programs want to recognize the profit. So they need the redemption. There's not enough, seats and beds to redeem everything that's going out there. And I think that, that's one of the opportunities that's coming down the line.
So through all of our conversations with our clients and with our prospects, one of the biggest challenges loyalty programs are facing is the ability to measure incremental value and prove the ROI they're delivering for the organization. They have no problem proving engagement, right? But what does that mean in terms of value creation for the enterprise in dollars and cents? And this is really, really important that loyalty programs do this because it's very hard for them to be able to get the budgets they need to be able to reinvest in the loyalty program and do the things they want to do in order for the loyalty program to be truly successful. So I think this is going to be one of the biggest opportunities is investing in solutions to be able to actually quantify and prove incremental value in a way that allows the organization to focus really on and invest in the loyalty program at scale.
Opportunities in 2026 are plentiful, and I think in a couple of areas. One, certainly there's still a technology gap with most programs, and that is really about not how you account for or manage loyalty, but how you engage with customers. Something which is a little bit more automated is definitely within reach. Something which is more bespoke with the use of things like AI to do kind of immediate redemptions, immediate offers, are just around the corner for a lot of programs. The second is around kind of proposition development, and it goes kind of hand in hand with the tech play, as technology gives you more freedom and more ability to do bespoke, and then the proposition needs to change as well to accommodate that. And I think finally the third bit is around partnerships. I think we're seeing people being less protective of their own loyalty programs and the ability, or be more willing to engage with other perhaps not so competing programs and looking at doing collaboration. So I think that's a really healthy state to get to, particularly from a consumer perspective.
The biggest opportunity I see is the shift from transactional to emotional loyalty. I think brands have been on this journey, but it's really going to come to life in 2026, embedding deeper customer connections throughout your program experience and beyond the program. This is something we happen to know a lot about. Almost a decade ago, our original humanizing loyalty research led the industry by identifying 6 key drivers of emotional loyalty. And those are trust, reliability, appreciation, investment, empathy, and shared values. And because these drivers have proven to be just as relevant today, our latest research, which we'll be publishing in January, builds upon that foundation. And it really activates on those drivers in ways that resonate with evolving customer expectations, because they continue to expect more, and brands need to deliver. And for brands that make that shift from transactional to emotional loyalty, they need actionable strategies that help them differentiate. So this really starts with enabling brands to assess the current performance against those key loyalty drivers, and then identify where there are gaps. And then once brands know that, then they can pinpoint those high impact opportunities that resonate with their specific audiences. It'll help them prioritize investments and program attributes accordingly, and then develop a strategic roadmap that aligns stakeholders throughout the organization around that shared vision for the customer.